Hi everyone, this is Amruddin Jamali from African American Reporter. Today I'm honored to be with Dr. W. He's the Four Elements doctor and he's going to talk about this philosophy and why it is important to apply this philosophy in your life. But today we are going to talk about a very important topic and that is focus. Nowadays everybody wants to become a millionaire, like they want to do it like overnight. And things takes time and we need patience, we also need focus because if you don't have focus, you can be working on multiple things and getting nothing done. For that reason, I drove all the way from Columbus to Syracuse to meet Dr. W and then also ask him what can we do to apply these principles in our life to gain more focus. Thank you, Dr. W.
So the idea is people today, as you're saying, like to multitask.
Yeah.
I see patients in my practice, and a lot of young people stressed out because they're trying to do too much. Their nervous system is on overdrive. When you're multitasking, can you kind of picture how your brain is on hyperdrive? You're going from one thing to another.
Yeah.
Right. That's part of what you're suggesting might be an
Right.
issue. So when you're multitasking, you're forcing your nervous system to do things it wasn't meant to do. You can multitask in a natural environment, and you're typically under stress when you're multitasking. Your sympathetic nervous system, which is a part of your adrenaline, that stresses you out, that kicks on when you're multitasking more so than when you're just sticking on with. When you're going deep into one, I oftentimes talk about going deep as opposed to being shallow.
Yeah.
And so many people, don't go deep into the direction where they need to go to learn what they need to learn, to do what they have to do. They just kind of flitter out from one thing to another and never quite accomplish what they need to accomplish. So, this four-element paradigm or model that I work with, we talk about the earth element. Earth is getting things done, accomplishing things.
Right.
And it comes from hard work. It doesn't come from, it can come from multitasking, but obviously good things can happen through multitasking, but there's a residue that happens with it, and part of it is not accomplishing things well enough, and also stressing yourself out, not strategizing perhaps as well as you can, losing your passion because you're depleted.
Right.
All those things happen, in my opinion, from multitasking. And this four element way of thinking, this fire, air, water, and earth. Like you say, earth is about accomplishing things. The fire system is the nervous system that gets stressed out by multitasking.
Okay.
The air system is kind of that intellectual way of figuring out strategies on how to make things work.
Yeah.
The fire principle of ideas, generating ideas, being creative. The intellect, that air principle that follows fire at the top, that creative part of you, that a lot of multitaskers, they think of themselves as very creative people.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they are, but they also have to be intelligent in strategizing, which takes a little bit of depth.
Yeah.
And if you're multitasking, you're not letting that air intelligence, if you will, to kind of go deep. And then the word principle is about passion and having the momentum even to finish up, to getting your foot out the door. Sometimes the whyness of why you're going to do that. And you might have the whyness to some degree as a multitasker. You want to get things done, but you're distracting. You're not building momentum in one direction so that you might accomplish that earth element of getting things done.
Gotcha. So you're saying that, can I have that piece?
Sure.
So you're saying that like the whyness is that the water element of the
That's
idea?
the water element. Yeah.
And what
the
will-
blood in your body that has to energize you,
Yeah,
the
sorry.
emotions.
Yeah. So what about like the earth element, like that hardness that you say, like accomplishing something, getting something done?
And earth was kind of interesting. Earth, I like to say, is hard. Earth is not soft and watery.
Yeah.
It's hard, and the earth element does make things hard. Darn it,
Yeah.
But that's what accomplishment demands is some hard work.
Gotcha. So like I know ancient time, like not nowadays. It's like modern time. People, like I said, wants to get things done, and they probably sometimes have to multitask, right? Because they don't want to fall behind. And if they wanted to kind of like gain more focus in their life,
Yeah.
what they should
What
do.
can they do to gain more focus? Well, one of the great things is even just to spend 5 minutes meditating, breathing deeper.
Yeah.
One of the most important things you can do as an individual is to breathe deep. When you're multitasking, you're getting stressed out, you feel your anxiety getting strong. You'll notice that your breath might be shallow and quick, and And you'll notice that as soon as you focus on deeper breathing, your consciousness will change. Oftentimes, I'll tell my patients that the easiest way of changing your consciousness, that stressful moment that you might be having, is by just focusing on your breathing and just taking the time to maybe count your breaths. I recommend like a 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. It just kind of slows your breath down, calms you. So what you want if you're multitasking is you need calm moments. We all need calm moments, and when you're not getting enough of those calm moments, you're going to deplete yourself. And I think that's the biggest issue for multitaskers, are you're depleting your stores of energy.
Right.
You're not able to, and if you're not sleeping well, if you're always having some screen in front of your face, and that's another whole part of the high tech world, where you guys are multitasking on different screens, is you're getting all this imagery, all this screen time that's depleting your body, making your nervous system overly stimulated, and you need that calm moment. Even like I say, even if it's just putting your head down on your desk for 5 minutes, take that cat nap for 5 to 10 minutes. That can make a big difference. Maybe before you move from one task to another, close your eyes just for 30 seconds is better than nothing.
Right.
1 minute is better than 30 seconds, and 5 minutes is better than a minute.
Yeah.
But find a ritual, even a way that you are going. Not that you're gonna have to do it every time you change your one task to the other, but it's one more tool you have in your tool chest
Gotcha.
as a multitasker to kind of find ways of regulating yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you so much. So multitasking, like I said, is a big problem for people,
Yeah.
and there is like people who are probably having a job, like full-time job, and they also have a family, and they also have a hobby,
Right.
and they have all these stuff
Well,
that
one of the
they,
things that I recommend for home is if you have different things that you want to accomplish at home, I like the idea of having different rooms. If you could afford to have a different room that, when you're in this room, you're gonna be doing computer work or something in that order. When you're in this room, you're in the kitchen, you're gonna shut off your different screens and focus on maybe some music playing in the background. Doing something that's related to something of earthy, natural, kind of a thing. When you're with your family, you're maybe in a different room. But there's something to be said for that. Again, it's the earth element is a physical awareness of where you are. And if you can have different places in your life where you're devoted to a particular task. Now, if all your tasks, are business related and it's on a screen and all that kind of thing, you might disqualify, with what I just said. But if you're able to multitask, and some of them include family things, and some of them include, personal hobbies, things like that. For example, I have my basement, and that's my man cave, if you will.
Okay.
And us men, we oftentimes talk about the man cave, and it's sort of a place where I go. It's quieter, and I'll do some reading there. I'll do some yoga, things on that. I'll write. Things on that. I don't have a computer there. I'm doing it longhand.
Okay.
So I have a place where I don't have a computer, no screens, and I just know that when I'm in my man cave basement, I'm just doing what I'm, something that's calming and
Yeah.
not as stimulatory to with screens and the like.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, you talked about an important thing, and that is like other factor that kind of like affects your deep work, like a screen. If you are, for example, working on something and then you're checking your phone and then you're seeing a post, and then all your focus goes from this one thing that you're working on and it goes to something. Is there something in like this 4 element principles that kind of encourages people to follow deep work and kind of stay away from things?
Well, of course it is, but whether it's easy or not is another story. In other words, I think everybody knows they should be doing such things. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong on that. As far as the right thing being to not let yourself be overly stimulated. But we all seem to be wired in this modern world to respond to little sounds that tell us something. So a new message in our inbox, or a new something somebody's trying to send on a text message. All those things are distractions, and I think it's up to each of us to find ways that we create a little our own strategy, our own little ritual, if you will, of when you're certain hours, you're just not going to bother. You almost give yourself some rewards.
Right.
If it comes down to it, give yourself a reward. If you don't look at your screen or you don't respond to dings and the like,
Right.
don't be afraid of giving a reward system and creating a habit out of not responding. Make yourself feel like, put a smile on your face when you realize, I didn't respond to that today or this one. I'm just gonna get better at going deeper and not being so superficial in the stimulation that my brain is allowing or pushing me to be attuned to.
Got you. Yeah, those all of the things that you mentioned are helping, and also sometimes, like you mentioned, people may not be aware of like what they're doing, and they might thinking, okay, maybe like a 2 minute thing or a 1 minute thing, I will think about this or look at this, and then I'll move away,
Right.
go back to what I was doing before.
All the studies show that that's not the case.
Yeah. So, but I was asking if there are practical steps that people can take from the four element principles that apply to this kind of like condition, like for example, while they're doing something and something is kind of distracting them, what they can do from the elements. Yeah.
Well, one of them, like I was suggesting earlier, was just breathing. You just kind of imagine that if you want to stop the direction you might be tending toward, that answering the stimulation from a screen that just got your attention, right? So in that order, just make a conscious decision that you're not going to do it this time. And then maybe or right before you make the decision, maybe you should take a deep breath and ask yourself as you take that deep breath, is this really what I need to do? Is this going to be sapping my energy more than I want to? Who's in control here, me or that screen or that whatever you want, that stimulation from my cell phone or whatever, my laptop? Who's in control here, me or that laptop? So from a four-element perspective, you want to be in control. That's the fire within ourselves is our individuality, our self, our soul, who we are, and that is what you want to be in control. You don't want to be let others control you. And as far as the elements, we all need downtime. Where we're not getting that stimulation. We all need time to sleep. Relaxation, sleep, having fun. In a formal way of thinking, that's the water element. The water element is that softness of life, connects us to others.
Okay.
We get that water element as we relax, as we're not as driven. The fire principle is about the drive forward. The air principle is about learning new things and becoming the best that we can be, evolving as a human being. That's all part of who we are meant to be, and we're meant to do that. But we don't have to do it at a irritatingly fast pace. The four elements are not about the quick getting there. It's really the journey.
Gotcha.
You heard that it's pop culture, the pop psychology. Enjoy the journey, not so much getting there. And when you're being distracted by all the stuff that you feel you got to do right now, you're not really enjoying the journey, are you? You're just kind of like
not knowing what you're doing.
right. And even though you're thinking when you're multitasking that you're being efficient, just about every study tells us that you're mistaken. It takes the brain a certain amount of time and resources to go from one task to the other, and it's not efficient. The studies tell us that you think that you're being efficient, but they can track these things, and it's not. You're not being as efficient as you think you are.
Gotcha.
Efficient and effective, for that matter.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Dr. W. I hope our viewers got some good information from this video, and I hope they apply the four element principles in their life and gain more focus in their life. If you want to learn more about the four elements, Dr. W. Is the author of the book called Four Elements, correct?
Fire, air, water, earth.
Yeah. And also, is there any other resources?
Yeah, you can check out Four Element Doctor on YouTube, on TikTok for that matter, on Facebook, and even I have a Patreon platform, Four Element Doctor as well.
Yeah, I hope our viewers check it out. Thank you so much. See you next time.